The purpose of this video is to give you an overview and a brief tutorial about completing an action activity report. The action activity report is the last step of our assessment process as we move closer to our accreditation visit starting in mid-April. This is specific for K-12 licensure programs, so we're hoping for your ongoing feedback, and this is the first time we've done this, so we're really looking forward to launching this. So if you open the document you were sent, which is the action activity report, you'll see that we're starting by asking basic information related to just your program name, who is completing the report, and when you submitted this. Now, because you're part of a K-12 program, there's quite a bit, we're asking for quite a bit here. And what I want to give you a heads up on is that we're happy to work with you on this, because you are actually going to be looking at data that are not directly related to what you do, but because you're a K-12 program and because you teach methods courses, we think it's important that you look at the overall assessment system and the data and give us feedback on that. But once again, we're happy to work with you on doing this to give you more information. So if you go to this hyperlink in the document, it'll go directly to our assessment system, which is called ePass. And I'm going to try to keep scrolling to a minimum here, but you'll see at the top that ePass stands for Educator Preparation Assessment System. So I'll scroll down through it. Please look this over, read through it. We've worked long and hard on this and are pretty happy with it, but we know there'll be improvements with your feedback. So first thing to bring your attention to is this first row, and know that at the top of the table there is a description of each column and what we're looking for. Specifically, we're going to be looking at the program column, the data source column, and the data results column. So you'll see that this includes elementary, secondary aggregate data. Even though the secondary programs are different than the K-12, you may use some of their results as comparator data. Sorry about that. Okay, keep scrolling down here. You'll see all those secondary programs, and then we're going to get to the K-12, and I believe art is the first one, and I'll just use that as our walkthrough example. Okay, so here are the K-12 licensure programs. In this first column, there's a lot of information. The state accreditation report that someone in your program helped complete. Most pertinent to this is the key assessments by program form. And you will see when this opens that we have 7 key assessments. So we're going to ask that you look at your admissions data, which that is not part of, that's not a key assessment. So there's admissions data plus key assessments. Okay, so we have it broken out as content knowledge, pedagogical content knowledge and skills, and then dispositions or professional behaviors. Okay, so now we jump back to the assessment system here, and the second column is the data source. So in this column, each of these are hyperlinked, and they will take you to rubrics or descriptions or forms that are directly related to the third column, which is the actual data results. So if we, just to show you quickly, click on admissions, and you will see that one thing I need to give you a heads up on, but you'll see the number admitted, female and male, and then the GPA when they were accepted into the program. Some of these, just to give you a heads up, the bottom line does not equal 100%. So some of you may see that. We're addressing that. So, but the individual cells should be accurate. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the assessment system once again. So that's the admissions data. And then we have Key Assessment 1, and I'm not going to click through each one of these, but remember, go back to this column and you'll see how these are compiled. So these are related to content knowledge, and then the rest are related to pedagogical content knowledge, and Key Assessment 7, which is the ethics case study, is related to dispositions. Now, one thing I want to give you a quick view at, so Key Assessment 4 is clinical data at 3 different points in time. So two of the field experiences, and then student teaching. And notice what these performance outcomes are related to. And I'm not going to go through all of them, but performance outcomes 1 and 2 are related to content knowledge, and then the others are related to pedagogical content knowledge, and dispositions or professional behaviors. So try to close a couple tabs here. And now I'm going to go back to the assessment system. These tabs do stay open, one thing to keep in mind. So once, and I'm going to go back to the form here in just a minute, but once these action activity reports are completed, they will be posted here, and then you'll see in the action activity reports we're also asking for program highlights, which will be posted here. So I'm going to close this and go back to the action activity report. Once again, the K-12 programs, they're pretty comprehensive. I really don't want this to be overwhelming. You don't have to provide lots of information, but just simply getting in and looking at the data and giving us some impressions on it. If you think it's inaccurate, please let us know. And those are, that's what's going to kick in this feedback process. So you'll see that we have them labeled as Key Assessment 1, 2, and then also here is Performance Outcome number 1. I'll give you a heads up here, which is tied to, remember, Key Assessment 4. So the performance outcomes are related to the clinical data, which is Key Assessment 4, and then pedagogical content knowledge. And if you tie this, back to the E-Pass table, it'll make sense. Okay. Now, I'm just trying not to scroll too fast here. So you'll see where possible we're trying to look at key assessment data, the standalone key assessment data, and then also get you into the clinical data as much as possible. So once you've reviewed the data and given us some brief feedback, we're asking that you develop 1 to 3 action activities. So what are things that you have a concern with, or just things that you would like to improve? And just tell us what those are. How would you make decisions on improvement, and what is your timeline for completing that? And then finally, one other thing is that if you don't want to use the table, you can just provide us a narrative description. That would be fine also. And then finally, we're asking you to give us program highlights, that things that you believe are really positive about your program, and we want to share those and have those on ePass. So, and then we're also asking for your overall feedback on ePass. So if you will complete this and send it back to me, we will be reviewing these and then putting them on ePass before the visit in mid-April, and then we'll also be adding those program highlights. So thank you very much. Please do not hesitate to get in touch, and I'm happy to help you out in any way that I can. Thank you.